What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades, and today I have a very important message for all the Patriots out there in YouTube and internet land. Please, I beg of you, all of you, please help get this video out there. This is something that is not being talked about in our communities, and it needs to be talked about so people are better prepared. First, a disclaimer for YouTube and Google. Please, Baz on Blades does not condone or endorse violence of any type, form, or fashion, or to any degree. If you will take a few minutes to watch this video, you will see it is dedicated to I don't want to see violence. I don't want to see violence. That's what this video is about. I'm dedicated this video to poking some reality holes in what is going on. There is, in the Patriot community, there is this sort of fantasy world in the Patriot community. What I'm talking about is this. I was researching the Chaz today. This is this bunch of radicalized bumblefucks that are over in Seattle. They've taken 6 city blocks. They've taken it. Ugh. Anyway, they've taken 6 city blocks. Basically, they're like little children out playing in their mom and dad's backyard. The police basically were just like, fuck this shit. We're over this. Let's just go grab a beer. And the mayor is like, hey, you guys get out of here. First round's on me. So these kids have gone in there. They've got some firearms. They've set up this autonomous zone. And it's funny as fuck is what it is. It's funny as fuck. They so believe that they are doing something. They believe that they are doing something, and they are just being manipulated and used. But while researching the Chaz and what's going on there, I came across this very predominant mindset, sort of fantasy going on within all of the 2A firearm enthusiasts, tactical enthusiasts, the preppers, the Patriots, all of this. When they're online and they're talking about these radicalized kids, the general opinion is, if it ever came down to conflict between these two groups, the Patriots would roll over these radicalized kids like they are a bunch of puff pastry. We need to stop that right now. That is fantasy. And like I said, thank you, loud motorcycle. Like I said, I am going to poke some reality holes in this fantasy. It needs to be done. Now, do not take any of this as any support for these radical people from Baz on Blades. I think they are a bunch of fucking idiots. They are being manipulated, so obviously manipulated that I don't even see how they don't see it. But they are extremely impassioned. Okay? Being impassioned, being passionate, being driven by ideals makes you capable of doing things that normally you would not be able to do. Now, we've got this whole fantasy and the Patriots and the gun people and everything, and they're like, we're up here, these powder puffs are down here, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know anything about guns or tactics or anything. Man, I shoot 10,000 rounds a week on the range. I am training all the time. If it comes down to it, I'm gonna blow through there like the wind of death. Well, see, that's a fantasy, okay? That sounds like somebody that's never been in combat. And Baz on Blades has never been in combat either. Let me tell you a secret about never being in combat. If you are honest enough to admit it to yourself, you don't know what you're going to do. You have absolutely no idea. For me to sit here right now and fantasize about pulling some freaky John Wick ass shit, okay? That's fantasy. The reality is, what am I going to do? If I'm under fire, am I going to stand there with piss running down my leg until I get hit? Am I going to have the frame of mind to react, to move to cover, to return fire? Am I going to have the fine motor skills, the rationality to be able to get out of the situation alive? I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to think that I would be just as much of a Billy Badass as anybody, but I don't know. And if you don't have the same mindset going into it, and you are so totally elevating yourself and underestimating your opponent, you never ever underestimate your opponent in anything in life. I'm not even combat. Everything. Do not underestimate your components. That is a recipe for disaster 100% of the time. 100% of the time. I'm going to give you 3 points quickly so we can get all this in that you need to think about. You need to think about seriously if you are of this mindset that the Patriots are going to steamroll all over these people and it's just going to be glory days, okay? Pin a medal on your chest already. It's not going to happen that way. I'm here to tell you. 3 points. The first one is equipment. Now, there is a pecking order in all these enthusiast communities, 2A enthusiasts and firearms enthusiasts and EDC and preppers and you know, the Patriots. There's sort of a pecking order of equipment. But the truth is, the number one weapon system of the Patriot is the AR-15. This AR-15 is mine. It has been cleared off camera. This is an empty magazine. This rifle is cleared, guys. It is a safe weapon. This AR-15 is so common in 2020. I live in East Tennessee in the southeast. Literally every man that I know that owns a firearm owns an AR-15. It doesn't matter if it's a 70-year-old farmer that typically would only have a couple of bolt-action rifles or maybe a lever-action rifle, maybe a 12-gauge shotgun. He's also got an AR-15, okay? All the gun enthusiasts, firearm enthusiasts, 2A enthusiasts, preppers, patriots, they've all got AR-15s, all right? We think we've got this weapon system down. We've got it mastered. We've got the most killer crap. We've got so much cool shit on our rifles that we've got to take pictures of it and brag about it on the internet. Okay? The fact is, though, somebody else has those weapon systems also. Those guys, the radicalized guys, they also have AR-15s. It is so easy and so cheap to buy a quality AR-15 now. You can take $500 into just about any full-featured gun store anywhere and buy an AR-15 with a free-floated fore-end, probably some aftermarket furniture on it, and maybe some backup sights on it, some pop-up backup sights. I've seen all kinds of Smith & Wessons, all kinds of Ruger rifles, all kinds of Bushmasters, all kinds of the entry-level brands. They've all got rifle packages you can get into for sometimes as low as $400. And is it mil-spec? No, but it doesn't have to be mil-spec to put a hole in somebody. All right, it doesn't matter if you've got a $3,000 AR or a $500 AR. They both do the exact fucking same thing. They put holes in things. The Patriots are not the only ones with these weapon systems. the radicalized people have them too. And guess what? They're out there practicing with it. Come on around. You know you've seen these practice videos of these kids. Yes, they look awkward. They look funny. Everybody has spent a few years laughing at them. But the thing is, they're practicing. They already have an equal weapon system to the Patriots. Already, as far as the weaponry goes, they're equal. They are out there training. Now, I saw a video, and there was probably 30 of these kids out there, and I'm calling them kids because I'm 50 years old. They're younger than me, but they're 20-somethings for the most part. They're out there, and they're shooting. They're doing individual shooting at various target sizes, various ranges, and they are putting hits on target, all of them. Because the secret of the AR-15 is, it is so easy to shoot. It is so easy to do rudimentary training on an AR-15. It is so easy. I could take any halfway smart person, give me 2 hours with them, and I can train them how to engage targets consistently out to 100 yards off of iron sights. Okay? If they have decent eyesight, they can make hits with an AR-15 at that distance with just a couple of hours of training. You put another 20 hours into them, they'll be just as good as the majority of the Patriots out there. Because the majority of these guys, even though there's way more of them, the majority of them, they don't ever train. They've never trained. They've never trained the first time, ever. They take their AR out and they shoot some targets with it. They get some steel targets. They plink on those. They run their rounds through it to test that the firearm's going to be functional. But they don't train with it. Now, these kids, not only were they individually shooting, but they were shooting group movements. Okay, they were shooting as a group. When is the last time you went and trained as a shooting group? Okay, they were calling reloads. They were using a 2-tier frontage line, calling reloads with support fire. Okay, 2 tiers, a primary shooter, secondary shooter. That line of 10 or 12 people could put down continuous fire from AR-15s and never stop. They had support behind the lines loading magazines. When is the last time you trained in a 2-tier line, putting fire downrange, calling reloads? Okay, I've never seen anybody around me do that. I know literally hundreds of people that have AR-15s. I doubt very seriously if any of them have ever done that. Now, those of you that shoot 10,000 rounds a week and are certified master door kickers, this does not apply to you. Okay? Because there's only one of you per 10,000 other AR-15 owners. Okay? The rest of them, they take them out and they shoot them. They don't do any real training. Now, these kids, were they awkward? Yes. Were they, did they have a lower skill level? Yes. But they're out there training, and you know what accidentally happens when you train? You get better. Even if you don't get as good as a professional door kicker, you're still going to get better with your weapon system if you train. These kids are out there training. They're honestly training. I've seen it with my own eyes. If you've seen the videos, you have seen it too. Stop laughing at them and look at what they're actually doing. Yeah, Saturday night, guys. Even out here in the country, we've got cars out here. We've had them for a few years now. So, they're actually out there training not only as individual shooters, but shooting in a cohesive unit. I don't know anybody outside of military personnel that has ever even done that the first time. So they've got the same weapon systems, all right? They're training and training more and in very critical ways and techniques than majority of these Patriots over here. The Patriots are all like, we got all this, we got it, while they're sitting at home on ARFCOM talking about their rifle and posting photos. These kids, the radicalized kids that look funny and are not as familiar with firearms, are actually out there training. Okay? If you underestimate that group, you do so at your own peril. Okay? Period. They are fully capable. Even in that video, every one of them I saw was fully capable of hitting a man-sized target in combat. Now, that brings me to the last of the 3 points, and that is mindset. Combat mindset and a willingness to kill. Like I said before, I've never been in a gunfight. I don't know what I will do the first time. I hope that I react in the way that I want to. I've already, told you these guys have the same weapon systems. They are training to whatever degree, but it takes little to no training to be able to hit a man-sized target with an AR-15. Very easy weapon system to master basic shooting skills on, and that's really inside of 100 yards. That's all you need, even if you are running iron sights. Okay, I have zero issue at all teaching somebody to hit a man-sized target at 100 yards with iron sights, unless their eyesight is really bad. So they've got the weapons, they are training. The last thing is the combat mindset. This is the biggest gap between these two groups, the Patriots and the radicals. The Patriots are not out in the streets rioting and looting and burning. You don't see any groups of Patriots in a mob drag somebody out of their car and stomp on them until they're dead. You don't see any Patriots out there throwing firebomb into police cars. But you do see these radicalized kids doing it. They are already exhibiting the capacity for that combat mindset and a willingness to kill. For a fact, they've killed people. They have drugged people out of their cars and killed them. They have walked up to police officers in their cars and killed them. They have actually killed somebody. The Patriots aren't over here killing anybody. They have not shown this combat mindset, this ability to react in the right way, under fire, return fire, and take another human life. These people, even though they're not under fire, they're up a few steps in that violence escalation range, I think. I mean, when you're looting and pillaging and burning and killing, that's a little more violent than the armchair commandos over here that are on ARFCOM with the pictures of their ARs. There's a huge, huge difference there. Patriots don't want to kill people. There are people over here that are radicalized to the point, and they are so angry, they're willing to kill people that do not agree with them, but they think they're justified. They have rationalized people that disagree as Nazis or they have used rationalization to decide that these people that disagree with them are evil to the point where it doesn't really matter if you hurt them. To them, it doesn't matter if they hurt you. because you are so evil because you do not agree with them. That's a special kind of insanity right there as far as Baz on Blades is concerned. I do not understand it. It's not that I don't understand their ideals as twisted as they are. I totally understand that. I see that they're twisted ideals. They're being manipulated. Their frustration and their anger and their personal problems, they're being pushed into focusing their anger and violence on a supposed enemy. Okay, the Patriots are not these people's enemies. We don't give a flying fuck about these people. I don't know those people. If some radicals walk down my street right now, unless they were, chanting and shooting guns in the air and, they see my American flag and try to tear it down, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I mean, seriously, this whole fantasy is, it's not reality. It is not reality. These people, they're fully capable of killing other people, and they have shown it. You give them the same weapon system, and you allow them to train, and they will be much more efficient and proficient killers. They've already shown that they are violent. They've already shown that they will kill. The Patriots are not over here doing that. This is a whole totally different type of person. We do not think the same. We are not invested in the same way. We do not rationalize killing people because they disagree with us. I might smack somebody in their face if they get me mad enough, but I don't want to kill anybody. Ever. I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want anybody breaking in my house. Not because I'm scared of them stealing my shit. I don't want to have to kill somebody to defend myself. That's a shitty way to go right there. Okay? Trying to steal a TV or something, and I don't want to be the person to help them out of this world. Okay? If you are sitting around thinking that these people, these radicals, are not capable of defending themselves and fighting, you have got another thing coming. There is going to be, if there is a civil war, and there's not going to be, good God, there is so few of those people. Please, they are such a small percentage of society. But if there was, there would be a lot of patriots go home in body bags because they underestimate these kids. Don't underestimate them. This has got to stop right here. Okay, all of this chatter online about I'm Billy Badass and I would do this, this, and this, and those guys are a joke, and look at him. Look how he's holding that rifle. Well, motherfucker, he's hitting the target. He's hitting the target. I don't care if he's holding it like a fucking fishing rod. If he's hitting the target, he's in a group that's already shown that they will kill people, and he's got an equivalent weapon system. You need to break out of that fantasy world. You need to break out of that fantasy world and do it quickly. And everybody just needs to fucking step back. Okay, step back. Everybody is being manipulated, both sides. Patriots, just stay at home. Just stay at home. Retreat to your home and protect yourself if you have to, but don't go out looking for trouble trying to be a patriot. That's not what a patriot does. These people out here, they're out looking for trouble. They're looking to violently change things to fit their ideology and agenda. We just need to step back because both sides are being manipulated. They want us to clash. They want us to clash, because then guess what happens? You start having armed clashes between patriots and radicals, the government's going to come in, they're going to grab everybody up, they're going to start taking everybody's firearms, and then what is going to happen? What's going to happen then? We can't give them the reason. We can't give them the reason. Let's just not engage with these radicals. They're a bunch of kids out in their mom and dad's backyard, and they have politicians with agendas that are in control of the police forces. They are forcing their police forces to back away or to stand down because the agenda they have, they want the disruption. They want these radicals over here disrupting and dividing and separating. They want all of that. They want the patriots to come in and have armed conflict. That is their way to get your firearms. That is the way they are going to go after firearms. There is no other way. There is no other way. Right now, support of the Second Amendment is as high as it has ever been in my 50 years of life. The moderate left has seen they need these firearms. They now understand why the right has been saying, hey, we don't have these firearms to be violent, we have them to protect ourselves. They are seeing now, their eyes are open, and they are buying firearms. Okay, please don't make the mistake of thinking that the left is against you. Yeah, they've got different ideas. I don't agree with them. They support things I would never support, but they don't want civil war any more than I do. Just a very small percentage that's radicalized is the issue. There's a whole bunch of AR-15s out there. There's a whole bunch of AR-15s. I mean, a whole bunch out there on both sides. Both sides. And it's a easy weapon system to use. Do not think that those radicalized kids can't hit you with their AR-15. Please don't think that. And don't think that they're all going to run away. Even if 70%, if you had a group of 100 people attacking you and you return fire, if 70% of them, 70 out of the 100 fled, it would still leave 30 people with modern weapon systems. 30 people. 30 people with a modern weapon system can kill a lot. And they've already shown they're willing to kill. The Patriots don't want to kill anybody. We are not, at this point, willing to kill unless it is in self-defense. Do not underestimate these people. You'll do it at your own peril. I'm telling you, agree or not, you better step back and take an honest look at it. Better step back and take an honest look at it. It's pretty doggone easy to get shot in a gunfight. Pretty damn easy. Pretty damn easy. Just ask anybody that has actually been in combat. Alright guys, please share this around. Let's get some comments going, some feedback. I very much appreciate your support on the recent stuff that I've done here. I'm sort of breaking out of my box and doing a little more in front of the camera, a little more opinionated stuff, a little more focused on outside of the knife community with what's going on in the United States and the world right now. As always, thank you very much for watching one of my videos. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.